When I first started, it was photography that I first started with. When I first began, I fell in love with just, taking a camera and seeing what perspective I could get out of it. And I know we all say that a million different times in a million different ways, but it truly was the fun and the art of creating something that looked a little bit different than as we see it. And that's how I first really fell in love with the art of photography and cinematography. There was no money behind it. There was no objective. There was no like, oh, I'm going to shoot this because I can make money off of it. No, it was strictly just, I'm going to do this because it's fun. Even like way back before I could drive, I was probably like 13, 14 years old. I would go on drives with my dad because I couldn't drive. So he would drive. It was like every Sunday or every other Sunday or something. And we just go drive to random places and I'd holler out if I want to stop or if something looks cool. And it was fun to just go out, see like, oh, where does this road take me? What's down that road? And that's where the love of it came. Don't get me wrong, I love that it is my career. I'm so grateful of it. I'm so grateful that I get to do this every single day. But with that, I found came with somewhat of a cost, and that's losing the love of it through this kind of like obligation. Because quite frankly, I did. Somewhere along the way, I did start to lose that zest for it all, and I kind of forgot why I'm doing that and kind of forgot the roots of everything. And honestly, that's where it loses all of its fun. At least for me, that's exactly what happened. Is I started to do it and I started to follow the framework of whatever works, and I lost the fun and the creativity of it, which led me to lose some of the art of it. You hear that? That's Big Ben right there. That's kind of crazy if you think about it. It's the bell tower and it's ringing its bells. I don't know. Think about when we're kids. When we're kids, the world is so incredibly colorful. It's got so much vibrance to it all. And for some reason, as adults, it just kind of dims down a little bit. And it's kind of like that with this journey of this photography career that I've started, which has been going on since I was like 12 years old. It's like in the beginning, it was rainbows and butterflies all over. Every single thing I shot was super cool. And then as it turned into a career, it changed. You cold? It's been the epitome of this whole trip. It's cold, but kind of cool. And lately I've been feeling a lot of this pressure to have a purpose for every single thing that I shoot. And lately, I mean like the past few years, 3, 4, 5 years. And that's like every time I bring my camera or every time I'm going somewhere that could be remotely aesthetic or cool or vibey, whatever, I won't bring my camera because I'm like, there's no purpose for it. And I don't know at what point that happened in my journey or in my career, because I remember when I first started, I don't care if I was going to the fucking shower. I'm not going to say shower. I feel like that's a little... Have I ever said the F word on my channel? Huh? Oh well. And I think that what it comes down to is me needing to remind myself, it doesn't matter where my art is going, wherever my photo or video or film, whether it's making it into a big movie or it's just the satisfaction of me taking the picture or taking the video and keeping it for myself. And that's what really excited me when I first picked up a camera. And especially in my early years, it still sticks with me now, but I feel like I've lost a little bit of it, where I would be more excited about where the camera would lead me. I was almost like this vehicle to experiencing new things because I knew I was craving getting cool shots just for the sake of getting cool shots. And it would bring me to all these wild locations. I mean, right now I'm in Munich, sitting in the town square, getting views, getting looked at from a bunch of different people, weirdly, because I'm a YouTuber, I guess. But it's more than that. That was the part that excited me so much, is that I'd find myself in all these really weird situations that, quite honestly, I might be uncomfortable doing if I weren't doing it. In a way that I've found for at least myself to take the pressure off of like the work mindset of things, so like that pressure that it needs to be for something, is shooting a lot of film, whether it's 35 or a Super 8 film. All the time I'm carrying with me a film camera or two, there's a second one somewhere, but carrying with me a film camera that's casual. It's all point, shoot, I take the photo, and then I don't have to think about it. I don't have to think about the editing side of it all. And it takes the pressure off of me just a little bit.
I wash you clean of conscience. How Bible.
But getting out of this routine, I think, is the hardest part because it's so frustrating, especially for me. It's so frustrating when I'm deep in it and I'm like, I don't want to do this. I try to be creative. I get shut down. I try to drink coffee or listen to music and get inspired and all of these things. And it's so frustrating. And I think that the one thing that it comes down to, or I've realized at least for myself, is that it's breaking the routine, breaking the mold, breaking the structure of what you're doing, and, you know, re-inspiring yourself ultimately. Because yes, it does ebb and flow as we're going through our career. That's inevitable. But it's doing something different, bringing yourself around a different area, doing something that is unfamiliar for you. And I know that's kind of cheating for me to say that because I'm walking around London and going to Germany and all of these things that are so extravagant. And of course, everywhere I look is so inspiring. But aside from that, this isn't the first time that I've felt this. I think that even just going on a photo walk with zero intention, or just going somewhere different, a different route to work in the morning, or whatever it is for you, just doing something that breaks the mold and kind of gives you a different perspective on things, I think is really important to seeing the world in kind of a different light. I mean, the album of film shots that I have alone is huge with stuff that none of you guys have seen. It's really just me getting the email, and I'm like, oh yeah, film, sweet. I look at the images, say, wow, I remember that, or I totally forgot about it, and then there we go, that's all it is. And that's sometimes all it has to be. So that's what I want to leave here with, is that yes, if you're feeling uninspired or creatively burnt out, or whatever we want to call it nowadays, you're definitely not alone, because it's just inevitable, especially if we do this full time as creatives, if it is our career. It ebbs and flows. And sometimes, yes, you just need to bite your tongue and tough through the bullshit of it all, but make sure that you still remind yourself of the zest of it all, of why we started. And that's kind of what I needed to remind myself. So maybe that's all this video is. So with that, I'm gonna go enjoy my last 24 hours in London, drink a beer at a pub, because what else would I do when I'm out in Europe? I don't know, it's all I've done. All I've done is just drink beer in Germany and Europe and all of that, so it's been great. But anyway, love you, and goodbye. I did it!